Excuse me, Miss Moneypenny, do you mind just scooching out of the way just a little bit? I mean, you got great tits, I know that, but this is my show, by the way. It's my show. Who would you rather see, her or me? You know what? I won't even answer that question. I think I know what already people are going to be saying in the comment section below. See you later, Lexi. I love you.
Yes, Mr. President, and I've brought you back a little present from Thargoidia. Oh yes, their leader, Gort. I've been looking forward to seeing him. I'm afraid he's not a pretty sight, sir. Good grief, you're right. Ugh, what a horrible mess. Ugh, I've never seen such a hideous face.
You just met on the way.
I'm Bill S. Preston, Esquire.
And I'm Ted Theodore Logan. Yeah! And we're Wild Stallions!
Oh, Mackenzie, I can see your boobies. There's someone behind me, isn't there?
No, you've been doing the same job for 10 years!
What's that?
Flashing through the sky, he's a go-go guy. Stronger than a train with a so-so brain. He's fearless, fearless, a little too careless.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what's more thrilling than bringing you 3 news stories today from the world of video gaming? Neil Druckmann, this guy sniffs his own farts at home. He's pretentious, he's narcissistic, he's everything that I can think of because, yeah, unfortunately, when I replayed the old Uncharted games from number 2 onwards, his name is in the end credits, and I hate that. But Mr. Naughty Dog head himself, Druckmann, teases next project as the most thrilling yet and could redefine mainstream perceptions of gaming, or in his case, it'll be gaming with a Y after the A. Because what I take away from this statement right here, ladies and gentlemen, is that he wants to be the next Hideo Kojima. Now, remember that he gave this impassioned speech in 2013 where he was stuttering and stumbling about god-awful types of female characters in video games. They were too sexy, they were showing too much cleavage.
And as a game creator, I look around at kind of what we are making and what are going to be her role models from the stories, and I don't like what I see.
Loser.
He wants them all covered up, which is ridiculous beyond belief. And if he's idolizing somebody like Hideo Kojima, he wants to see himself as the westernized version of him. And it's never going to happen. But the main thing I take away from that statement is this. It's not going to be a video game as such. It's going to be either to do with artificial intelligence or an interactive movie that is still a video game at the very heart and soul of it, but it's going to be more immersive, more grown up. It's going to be more and it's going to be laced with ideology everywhere. That's what's going to be the problem and the case. And I hope it's going to come to that, because you know, when he makes, and apparently he's getting roasted online for this, which I'm not surprised about. A lot of journalists perceive video gaming as a man hobby, a child hobby. It's not to be taken seriously, despite the fact it makes more money than your average Hollywood movie. Druckmann responded, "I've been lucky to work on several dream projects, namely a bloody live action version of The Last of Us on HBO, which nobody cared about. I'm currently excited about a new one, which is perhaps the most thrilling yet. There's a growing appreciation for gaming that transcends all age groups, unlike when I was growing up," which is a stupid thing to say, because when we were all growing up, Mr. Druckmann, there were games that appealed to everybody, no matter what your age was. This shift is highlighted by our venture into television with The Last of Us, see? Which I hoped would bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. The show's success has spotlighted gaming, illustrating the rich, immersive experiences it offers. Really? Sherlock, you're coming out with this comment now? We've been saying this for years. But then again, you see, he's linking video gaming to television, which aren't the same things. They're different medium art forms. The visibility excites not only for our current project, but the broader potential of gaming to captivate a global audience with ideology and transgenderism. I'm eager to see how this new game resonates, especially following the success of The Last of Us. What, not The Last of Us Part 2, Neil? Because everybody loved that game, didn't they? As it could redefine mainstream perceptions of gaming. So already, if I were Neil Druckmann, I would actually get off the stage, bend over, put your head between your legs, try to sniff your a-hole, and see what pours forth from that. Because we'd love to see, wouldn't we, what excrement you got hidden up there. Then again, I don't really want to, because I'm about to eat a chocolate-filled pancake very soon. Ninja Theory's Senua's Sacrifice 2 has not done very well. Now, I've seen Colt Eastwood's review about this, which wasn't really a review, but more to do with the performance and the visual fidelity of the actual game, which kind of got me interested. But to be honest, if I'm going to buy this game on Steam, I'm going to wishlist it. I'm going to wait. And I actually predict, because of its poor sales figures at the moment, they'll probably drop the price by next week, which happened to other video games like Foreskin. That dropped, didn't it, from what I remember? And this is actually sad news, because from what I've gathered, it's like a 6-hour game, but it's got 3 hours of cutscenes, which to me is nothing new. Metal Gear Solid did that for the longest time. But according to the Steam DB charts, the original Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice peaked concurrent players of 5,654 back in August 2017 when the game was released. Sales estimations for the game run anywhere between 1.5 million from VG Insights to 5.8 million by PlayTracker. But of course, when we look at this now, so this was back in the day, 1 million downloads, Senua's Sacrifice, which is a great achievement. And this is like a AA game produced by a studio who weren't yet snapped up by Microsoft, but unfortunately now Microsoft they're actually thinking of buying Steam. I hope that never happens. That can never happen, because the FTC better get right in there and say, this is not going to happen. We don't want it to go ahead, because it's just going to cause a lot of division between gamers and customers alike. And Steam is its own thing, man. It's always been great. I think Microsoft thinking of buying Steam, if Gabe Newell actually says yes to the proposition, I've lost all respect for the man completely. It must never ever happen. I think if it were allowed to go ahead, what's going to happen to the jobs of people who work in Steam at the moment? Are they going to get shoved to the wayside to make way for already what is an overcrowded real estate with Activision Blizzard, Bethesda and Microsoft? How is that going to play into the grand scheme of things? It can't happen. And I know there's speculation, but honestly, Microsoft have lost all respect for me at this stage. Yes, I still use their product, because why not? I didn't pay for it, so I don't really care. But the sequel, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, is not performing as well as the first game. The game peaked at only 3,982 concurrent players on the 21st of May this year. It's been in decline since. It's dipped to 2,682 on May the 22nd and fell to a further 1,920 as of yesterday, the 23rd. Or should I be the 23rd? Look at that. That is pretty awful, actually. And the funny thing is, Microsoft, who then bought Ninja Theory, gave them a cartload of money and to make a sequel. And this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. When you have less money, you've got more imagination. The same translates to movies as well. Indie movies have to make a comeback in Hollywood now, because people are getting sick and tired of the AAA products in movies. I mean, Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine, or whatever you want to call it, it's not really getting people excited. Even though tickets are already on sale, people aren't stumbling across the blocks to get their tickets or book online. It's like a bit stagnant at the moment. And I think people are jaded now by what's coming out of Hollywood. Even Mad Max, a Furiosa story. I'm not sure if I'm even watching that this weekend because I've heard two versions, like the first 45 minutes is centered on young Furiosa before she becomes Anya Taylor-Joy. And then another thing I've actually heard as well is that Chris Hemsworth really does steal the show completely, and there's less of Furiosa than we were led to believe. So if that is the case, then I might actually go and watch it. But this is all I've heard, folks, so I can't say it's true or not, but it sounds like it's logical in that respect. But I'm not happy about this, and I feel sorry for the people at Ninja Theory at the moment. All these thumbnails are telling you everything you need to know. The next level in real-time visuals, says Digital Foundry. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is amazing, but it's not the big flagship win for Xbox, and that's Gaming Bolt, who are pretty reliable. Official launch trailer, the review from IGN, it's dividing everybody. A Dreamcast guy, I know he just does the clickbait stuff and says, yeah, it's just a outright sucky game. But people don't seem to be impressed with what's going on with that, which is a real shame, actually. But like I said, I might try it out when it drops in price, which I predict will be next week anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 days ago, I made this video about Assassin's Creed Shadows and the head writer who gaslit people for being racist. And what did my thumbnail say? With a very camp Jackie Chan in the middle and Chris Tucker saying, Yasuke loves Japanese choir boys? I put that in there as a joke, but of course now, this is what actually has been confirmed by Ubisoft themselves. The same Ubisoft, when they released this game in November the 15th, mark that date in your diary, folks, they're going to do a virtual tour of Japan as seen through the eyes of a black gay samurai. Oh yes, bring your children below the ages of 16 to sit down and immerse themselves in a gay world of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yep, so Naomi and this gentleman right here, Yasuke, are both LGBT, folks, because we tell you that they are. They might not be in appearance, but they are. They are. Dear God. In a blog post on the company's website, published on May the 15th, the company declared Naomi and Yasuke's desperate or disparate personalities also lead them to different relationships and rapports, not David Rappaports, with other characters. And they don't always feel the same way about people, nor do people feel the same way about them. Apparently there's meant to be a romance option for both Noe and Yasuke, but I don't think that's going to happen actually. It's so weird, man. Like, first of all, if you want intergender, intersexual relationships, I think the original Mass Effect series did it so well because you were allowed to be male or a male shep or a femme shep and romance members of the Normandy, and it didn't matter who it was, if it was a Taurian or anybody else. You know, you just wanted to, you actually developed organic relationships, and it was absolutely fine. Even the cutscenes were quite funny in their delivery. So you accepted what you were getting into as the player, and you know, there was no cringe outcome. And I've always actually applauded that. I don't mind that at all because it was never forced in your face. It was like saying, look, if you're a player of a certain diversity and you want to have a different relationship other than with the human, you know, we're going to give that to you, and it's fine. But this is Ubisoft trying to be like Mass Effect, and it's not going to work. You know, Ezio Auditore, do you think that guy's going to be LGBT? Of course not. He's one of the most based characters in the entire series. You had Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. I mean, you're going to call him anything else? Of course not. He's just too much of a manly man to be anything other than that. So it's so strange that they're going in this direction, but then again, It's Ubisoft. Am I even surprised? And again, they're just they're going to lose a lot of fans, and not just with the ridiculous tiers they've got. You can buy the game for $59.99, but if you go up these other tiers, you get exclusive content, and you can go on Ubisoft streaming for £14.99 a month, and you'd have to pay for the game. You can just download it and play it to your heart's content. It's absolutely ridiculous. And again, I think they're going to see a bigger fall in shares. Again, Kim Belair, who used to work with Ubisoft back in 2019, left her skid marks with this franchise. I'm sure somebody spoke to her and said, well, what are your thoughts about a black samurai in the next Assassin's Creed game? What do you think? And Kim Belair said, well, you got to make him a gay black man. He mustn't romanticize with Naomi, the Japanese woman, because that's forbidden in Japanese culture, even though that's absolute bullshit. And but he wasn't actually a manservant. He was a full-blown black samurai. That's what we need in gaming right now. Representation. Yeah. F you, Kim Belair, and F Ubisoft, and rest in peace, Assassin's Creed. It's going to be dead when this thing comes out. Even Far Cry 6, that didn't get a good response either, so I'm glad I never played it. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. More woeful news from Big Titty Friday, Jason today. Yes, I've just referred to myself in the third person, and I don't actually care because I've had a great time making these videos, even though what I'm talking about is woeful, it's distasteful, it's the decline of Western video gaming as we know it. I think games like Snowbreak and other Japanese and Chinese and obviously South Korea, whose titties are worshipped from here to Kingdom Come, let them give us their games. I want to play their games instead. I want to see beautiful, gorgeous women in my video games just looking badass. Even if they're covered up but they look like biological women, I don't actually care. Just give me that, please. Because I think the West no longer cares about what the customer thinks. Even though they pretend to, even Call of Duty this year is going to have DEI and ESG nonsense written into it, which makes no sense at all. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed my video today, leave likes below, leave your comments. And if I were you, and if you were me, you should come back for the next video.